What's up, producers? It's Matt from Music Producer School. What's up, Ioane? Thanks for saying hello. It is Thursday, and we just, down where I am, survived our fifth hurricane last night, passed through here. So, cheers to that. And I'm actually one of the lucky ones because a lot of people, I think they said like 500,000 people are without power right now where I'm at in the South. So thankfully, I'm able to come to you guys and girls today, and wherever you are, hope you're doing well as well. So before we get started with motivation part two, I got some good things for you guys and girls today. Be sure to join the Music Producer School community. The link is in the Facebook comments. I already have some folks posting some music on there this week, so that means we're gonna have at least a couple songs to review and give some feedback on this Saturday. So again, I go over there on Saturdays. It's a private community where I allow you to post your music. I listen to it live on the stream there. I'll do a live stream after the class on Saturday, just in the Music Producer School community, and give you live feedback on your track or tracks. So be sure to join that and post some of your music there. Also, follow us on all of our other social platforms. We're on all the other Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And finally, if you'd like to get a free discount code, click the email sign up in the third comment, and you'll get an instant 25% discount code. I'm going to be adding some more products very soon. Also going to be adding, I've had a lot of people asking me for full courses on stuff, so I'm working on that as well. So once again, thank you guys for the support, and let's go ahead and get started with motivation part two. So if you missed the first one in this series, motivation part one, I would encourage you after this one, go back and watch that one, because I essentially kind of gave you a formula that was super helpful from a book that I read called Tiny Habits. And that's probably about the most practical thing I could impart to anyone who's trying to produce music and who's trying to get themselves to consistently work, because that's kind of the trick here is, we all love to mess around and, play with that new plugin or that new synth we got, or make a beat or like a drum loop. But the hard part is finishing. You've got to finish your songs, and that's what, over the course of my career, I've worked with people that are far superior to me musically, like just in a whole nother world. But the issue was they could never finish songs. And I kind of luckily recognized early on that, especially as far as being a producer is concerned, people like Dr. Dre, Dr. Luke, who I'll probably talk about more later on because he was one of my biggest production influences. These guys are not necessarily, it could be argued whether or not they're genius, but they're not the greatest musicians. They're not the greatest beat makers. But the pure fact that they know how to bring a whole production together with the artists, with the mixing, the mastering, just getting the finished product, that is essentially what you need to learn how to do as a producer. Because songs, you always, and I'm guilty of this, we start out and we think, oh, this is the one. This is the magic one hit song. And the reality is you just never know what song is going to be successful for you. I have a song that I was a part of, that I produced and I did all the music for, that's about to hit 1 million plays on Spotify. And it's the one that, even though I knew it was kind of a good song at the time, it's not the big hit song that I necessarily thought was going to be the one that would get all these plays. And I have a couple others that are approaching 1 million plays as well that are kind of in the same thing. And then the ones that I spent all this time, perfecting and just getting everything perfect, they wind up not being the great song that everybody loves. There is something to be said, I'll say quickly, for speed. For some reason, what's up, Muyawa? Maddie? Thanks for saying hello, my friend. There's something to be said for working quickly and not overthinking songs, and I am definitely guilty. I have songs I started, you know, 8, maybe even almost 10 years ago that I've never finished because you get so attached to the idea of this song and you're just like, it's got to be perfect. And yeah, 10 years later, it's just kind of sitting on the computer hard drive, just never finished. We get a little bit too precious about our music sometimes. Your music is meant to be shared with others. It's not doing you any good just sitting on your hard drive. So I just wanted to kind of start today's lesson with those thoughts. Don't be so precious about your music. It's just music. There is no right or wrong. It's just you got to get it out and you got to learn how to finish songs. That's what most artists need us producers for. They do not know how to get everything done and culminate it into a release. And that's what they honestly need us, the music producers, for, because we are the ones that get the job done. So with that being said, I wanted to talk today about a couple things that will help you get the job done, and some things that have helped me. So I wanted to start off with a book. This book right here it's another book that I read that I really like. It's called The War of Art. And some of you may be familiar with the classic book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I've also read that one. It's a great book. But The War of Art is by a guy named Steven Pressfield. And essentially the thesis of his book is this, as musicians and producers, we're all, I'm sure, guilty of, waiting for the inspiration to strike. The muse has got to be, in tune with the universe, and everything's got to line up so that we can sit down and make our masterpiece. And what he kind of explains in this book is that there's a difference between amateur and professional. And amateurs essentially always are kind of fiddling, twiddling with the knobs, messing with this, messing with that, waiting for that inspiration to come, to hit. But when you become a professional, you realize that that's kind of an illusion. It's almost just like an excuse. There is no such thing as real inspiration. When you're a professional, you just do the job. And through doing the job, that's how you get inspired. So in a simpler way, it's basically saying you could sit at your desk and just kind of sit there and wait for the inspiration to wash over you, Or you can sit down and start doing the work, start doing something, open up your DAW, start putting some notes on the page, start moving some things around, start recording some clips. And through that process, you will inspire yourself, and that's how you get the work done. So this is a super interesting book. It's another one. It's not too long or anything. It's pretty simple to read. So if you're looking for some good reading material to kind of get you, it's crazy when you think about the power in, it's not that you physically necessarily need to do anything different. It's just mentally. Sometimes we get these blocks mentally. And when you read something such as The War of Art, or especially the Tiny Habits book I recommended in the last class, it's just this little thing in your brain. It's like a little switch that goes off. And just from that switch going off, it can literally change your world. It can change the rest of your life. So I really like that aspect of just getting new ideas into your brain, because when you flip the meaning of something, it's kind of like if any of you guys out there produce with samples, and you flip a sample. I may take the same sample and make a beat this way with it. You may take the same sample and flip it and make a beat this way with it. Or even like with songs, you can remix songs to sound like a rock song, or maybe it's a pop song or a rap song. So it's just these little mental switches that change for people that can change your whole perspective on things. So this book I would highly recommend, especially for creative type people, because the illusion of inspiration, in the traditional sense of just, all of a sudden the great idea is just going to smack you on the head. Sometimes that happens, but most of the time you need to just sit down and do the work. And by doing the work and getting the process started, that's how you get inspired. That's how you get work done consistently. And that is the overarching theme, really, is consistency. You've got to be consistent with your work if you want to keep being able to put out songs and become known as a producer who is able to get the job done. So the other thing I wanted to touch on today, besides this book, is this. It's actually a program, and it's called Freedom. And it looks like they're running 30% off right now. So that's cool. Freedom is essentially a program that works with your computer, your tablet, or your phone. And yeah, it looks like they're doing a 30% off. So this is probably, and it's going to be weird to say this or hear this, but if you're a producer or a musician, this program right here, and they have some things kind of similar on iPhone and Android, I believe, but this program was something I was looking for years. I almost tried to write this program myself because I knew I needed it so badly. So what this program does is essentially when you install it on your computer, your tablet, your phone, and you can do it on multiple devices. So I have it on like 2 different computers, a couple different phones. This program actually allows you to schedule and block certain apps and websites. So, I was talking about in the previous lesson how, if you want to get, a little bit of motivation to start producing, maybe you would get on YouTube and watch some beat making tutorials or some sound tutorials or synth stuff, or you'd go on Instagram and watch your favorite, producer on there making some beats or recording, and that would get you motivated. But the problem with this, you have to be careful. And I'm still to this day guilty of it myself, which is you go on Instagram to get some inspiration and you watch a beat making video. But next thing you know, you're watching like cooking videos or, working out videos. And like, if you're able to take a step back, you're like, wait, how did I just get here? What did I even get on here for? And that happens to me all the time because I'll get on, say, like Instagram. This happens to me when I'm trying to get myself motivated to work out. And that's actually the final thing I'm going to talk about today is working out, which is not obviously a music necessarily related theme, but I'll explain that in a little bit. So I'll go on Instagram to get myself motivated to work out. And I'm like, all right, I want to watch some people working out and get myself motivated. And literally within 30 seconds, I will be on some completely other topic watching, like I said, like a cooking video, and then I'm messing with my grocery list because I got to get some onions so I can make this dish. And every once in a while I'll be like, "Wait, how in the hell did I get here? What did I even get on Instagram for?" And then I'll think and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll workout stuff." And the same thing happens with music, especially on YouTube. You get on YouTube, you want to learn how to make a particular sound, and you get on there, you're looking at it, you're messing with it, but then next thing you know, you're watching some completely other like unboxing video for some like, watch or like just something completely off topic. And that is by design. The social media companies literally study this stuff, and they are working on ways to get you down these little rabbit holes of all kinds of topics, because the more stuff you're interested in, the more stuff they can put in front of you and get you interested. And their whole goal on social media, 100%, this is no questions asked, their goal on their platform is to keep you on that platform for as long as possible. So they are literally working out these scientific ways to keep you on this platform as long as possible. So let me show y'all quickly how this works and how I implement it. So once you get your Freedom app set up, you can, let me make sure I'm able to, let me see if I'm able to show you guys. Let me show you all of my all of my desktop here. All right, so let me flip back now and see if I'm trying to show you my desktop version, which I may. Let me just show y'all. Let me just show y'all the login version. But on the top of my toolbar, which I'm not sure why I can't show you guys the top of my toolbar, but that's okay. Um, Basically, what you do is you'll log in, or there's a toolbar on the top, which you can't see on mine right now. And let me log in real quick to this. And what you can actually do with this program is you can pick which devices you want to block something with. So you can see over here, I have my new MacBook, my old MacBook, an iPad, my PC computer, and my iPhone. Okay? And you can actually pick, you can decide what you want to block. So you could block basically the whole internet. You can block certain apps. You can block just things that you create. So I made this block list called social because I know that it's just way easier for me to screw around on social media than it is to produce. So the beautiful thing about this program is you can set it for a certain time. So I could say, okay, I need to work for 60 minutes. I click start, and when I click start, it's going to block all of my social list, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these different programs. So in doing that, it allows you to get rid of all of these potential distractions, because we all know how easy it is to just get on Facebook real quick. Oh, I'm just going to check Facebook real quick, or oh, I'm just going to check Instagram real quick. And there is hardly ever, in my experience, a time where I've ever gotten on Facebook or Instagram and I've only been on for like a minute. That never happens. So what, and I would encourage you guys, I believe they do a free trial period for this, but I would encourage you to try it. And if you do, what's up, Manuel? Thanks for saying hello. I would encourage you to try this program, Freedom, because again, if you try it and you start using it, I've experienced myself this phenomenon using this program, where if I actually turn it on and I block all of my social media on phone, computer, tablet, the whole deal, I can almost physically feel like in my brain, in my body, it's almost like this sense of like, it's literally like a sense of freedom. Like, oh, I don't even have to tell myself or fight with myself, don't get on Facebook, don't check Instagram, don't screw around on YouTube, because we all know there are literally a million things out there that we would love to look at and screw around with. But if you have to get work done, again, I have no affiliation with this program, but as far as a legit program, piece of software that you can buy, you know, like an app that will help you with producing, because again, if you get any DAW at this point, Ableton, FL Studio, Logic, Studio One, Pro Tools, it doesn't matter, GarageBand, if you have a DAW, you can produce high quality professional music, no problem. With even just with the stock built-in stuff, you can 100% do it. But the hardest part is sitting down and doing it and finishing things. You know, we've all gotten stuck in a song and it's like, oh, let me just go on YouTube and see how to make this sound and that'll make it better. And the reality is, what will make it better is you sitting there and just sometimes you got to beat your head against the wall and get that part figured out. And this program, I would be interested to hear if any of you guys or girls try it, because it's literally this weird, almost physical sensation that I get when I turn this program on, and it literally does feel like, oh my God, I'm free, because I don't even have to worry about willpower. I don't have to worry about discipline. It's just, okay, I cannot get on social media and mess around. So what else do I have to do? Well, I might as well get on my studio software and start making some music, because that's what I love doing anyway. And these social media apps are just such a huge distraction. It's crazy just the way that this thing works. So again, it's a super legit app. It's come a long way since they first developed it, and I have to say it is probably, I don't know how much. I have the premium version, but let me see. Let me see. I'm curious to see how much they charge for it, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much it is right now, but like I said, it looked like they were running a sale. Um, it looked like they were running a sale on it, so I'm not sure how much they charge. But again, I would highly encourage you to check it out, because it's a super legit program, and I think that's going to help a lot of you out, just because it's so easy to get distracted these days. So the final part of motivation I wanted to talk about with you today was, and it may not seem very related, but it definitely is your health, meaning working out and your diet. There's probably a lot of you out there that, you're like, man, what does diet and working out have to do with producing music? And I can tell you this, when we're producing in the studio, and I'm sure all of y'all have experienced this, you're sitting there sometimes for hours at a time. I mean, hours and hours. I used to sit in the studio for, it would be nothing for me to sit there for 8 hours at a time, literally for one sitting, and work on a song or work on multiple songs. Especially when I owned my studio where I was doing client work, I would just have clients one after the other. I mean, 12 hours sometimes, 16-hour days. So I wanted to mention this because after a certain point, when you're young, you're not going to notice it as much, but when you start getting older, you're definitely going to notice it. And that is, if you don't take care of your physical health, your mental health will start to suffer. So what that means, I'm not going to go into a whole diet and workout routine thing here, but I just wanted to mention things like always drinking enough water is super important. Making sure your diet is decent. Eating fast food 3-4 times a day in the studio is not going to help you become a better producer. It's going to eventually hurt you. You need to get 30 minutes of some type of exercise in a day, even if it's just getting up, walking around outside. That's another big one that I used to be really guilty on, is never getting any sunlight. I used to live in the studio, like literally, and I would not go outside for days at a time. And if you don't get any natural sunlight, your energy is going to start to suffer, and you may be able to combat that with a bunch of coffee or whatever, but I'm just telling you now, after a while, it's going to catch up with you. So start thinking about these things now. Another thing is your posture. I used to sit in a typical studio chair all the time, and just from kind of being hunched over, like staring at the computer all the time, my neck started hurting, my back started hurting. So y'all may notice, but I'm kind of bouncy sometimes. That's because I'm actually sitting on a yoga ball, and I got my puppy in here today. This is Bruiser. He's been chilling with me the whole time. But let me show y'all what I sit on. This is my studio chair. It's a yoga ball. So I've been sitting on the yoga ball for a few years now, and it's a super, super excellent way to do your work, because it doesn't, you can slouch, but you kind of have to keep your feet on the ground in a certain way to keep yourself steady. And it's definitely helped me, because I've been doing this, like I said, for about 12 or more years professionally, I guess. And my neck and back were just killing me after about 5 or 6 years. So again, before that happens to you, get yourself some water, get yourself a good diet plan going, get yourself a little bit of exercise, and get yourself either a good chair or a good yoga ball to sit on in the studio, because again, these things will catch up with you. And as you start getting tired, as your back, your neck starts hurting, guess what's going to happen to your motivation? You're going to be like, screw it. I don't even want to go sit in my studio. I don't want to go sit down and work on music because my butt hurts or my back hurts or my neck hurts. You know, you need to keep it fun. Another big one is if you can get the ability to stand up while you work, that's another big one that I would highly recommend. On my desk here, I have the ability to raise my monitor up so that I can stand whenever I want and I can work that way. And again, as a producer, these are things you may not have ever thought about, but I assure you the ability to kind of move around, stand up, sit down, stretch, work out, all these things are going to help you be a better producer. They're going to make you feel better, which is going to allow you to be more motivated when you're working and just to be motivated to work in the first place. So that's kind of where I wanted to keep it today, you guys. If y'all have any questions or anything, leave me a question in the comment about any of this stuff, or you can always send me a DM on the Facebook page, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Once again, do me a favor and hit share on this stream so we can help out all of our friends, all of our producer friends, and also be sure to join the Music Producer School community. Follow us on all of our social medias, and join the email list and get a free discount code sent to you immediately. I got some new products coming up very soon. I'm glad y'all watched today, and thank y'all once again, as always, for joining me. I'll be back again on Saturday with some more motivational tips for y'all. Y'all have a great day.